debate in this country has gone to a point where it used to be the politicians would take their sides, and then the people would generally kind of float in the middle and sway here and sway there. But these days, people have become so defined by themselves and their partisanship.
Yeah, it's the partisan mind. You see a lot of it, of course, on Twitter and online. People like to belong to a team. They like to have a tribe that they belong to, because, among other things, it relieves you of the obligation to actually think about what you think about it. You can just say, well, what does my team think about this? And away you go. I find politics itself, though, at the partisan level, I know people talk about it being more polarized, et cetera, but I think if you look back 10 years, conservatives were way more conservative then, the NDP was way more left then. I think they've actually both kind of have moved a certain degree towards the middle, both parties have, and of course that leaves a lot less room for the Liberals.
Right, and 10 years ago, the fact that you would have made that statement and not even include the Liberals in the top two is so interesting.
They were occupying the broad middle at that time, and the broad middle is a lot narrower now.
Can they then reinvent themselves, in your mind?
They can. It's really a 50-50 chance at this point. You could see a plausible scenario where they just can't figure out where to go and just go off a cliff. Or if they're prepared to be bold and prepared to realize they've got nothing to lose, I think they can still have a chance. But, you know, the best analogy I can find is it's a bit like a hockey team, you know, that's won several Stanley Cups in a row, but that last one, they're winning it with 42-year-old veterans. Does this sound familiar? And
that's a long wilderness for the Maple Leafs.
And then you got to go in the basement for a while. And you got to husband your draft picks, and you got to take some time. And if you don't, if you're always thinking about that next Stanley Cup, you're going to spend a lot of time in the wilderness like the Leafs. If you're prepared to take the long view, so to bring my analogy back to earth, if the Liberals are prepared to take the long view of building a group of voters who really strongly identify with it because they're their party, because they stand for something important, then they got a shot. If it's just about, can we get back into power next election, can we get a really attractive leader, I think they're in trouble.